So let's talk about Sentral Suites. It's been called the final chapter in the whole KL Sentral story. But this is a story that has two totally different endings. For an investor, it might be an absolute dream. But for someone living there, well, that's a reality full of daily compromises. Let's get into why that is. Okay, just look at this. On one side, you've got this high-yield investment machine. It's practically a landlord's fantasy, running on incredible connectivity and huge rental demand. But on the other side, it's what we'd call a high-friction home, where daily life is just a series of little compromises. So the big question is, how can a single building be both of these things at the same time? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack. To really get what Sentral Suites is all about, you've got to know who's behind it. We're talking about MRCB, the master developer for the entire KL Sentral area. So you see, this isn't just another condo popping up. No, this is the final major residential piece of a huge urban puzzle that's been in the making for 2 decades.
And this right here, this is the core of the whole conflict. The building literally has two faces. One side looks out at the shiny corporate towers of KL Sentral. The other side, it faces the loud, vibrant, kind of chaotic streets of brickfields, also known as Little India. This split personality is the key to understanding everything about this place.
All right, let's put on our investor hat for a minute. If you've got the money, why would you even think about putting it here? Honestly, the answer comes down to 3 little words: location, location, location. It's just unbeaten. I mean, Sentral Suites is the perfect example of a transit-oriented development, or a TOD. Now think about it. In a city like Kuala Lumpur that's constantly choked by traffic, the ability to live, work, and hang out without ever needing a car, that isn't just a nice little perk. It's a massive economic advantage, and it is the #1 thing that high-quality corporate tenants are looking for. And the connectivity here? Wow, it's the real story. You've got direct access to 5 major rail lines. You've got the KLIA Express, which is a magnet for pilots and airline crews. Then there's the LRT and MRT, which shoot you straight into the city's biggest corporate and financial hubs. That means a steady stream of consultants and finance pros. You see, this isn't just a map of train lines. It's a pipeline that delivers premium tenants right to your doorstep. Of course, if you look at the marketing, they talk all about this covered walkway that takes you to this transit paradise. But what's it really like on the ground? Is it what you think it is? Let's break it down. So, what's that walk really like? Well, it's not some seamless, air-conditioned tube straight from your lobby. You step out of the building, walk along a pretty busy road, on a sheltered path to be fair, then you connect to an overhead bridge, and then you finally get into the aircon Have New Central Mall. The whole trip takes about 5 to 8 minutes. Is it convenient? Absolutely. Is it the perfect seamless journey some people might be picturing? Not exactly. Okay, time to take off that investor hat and maybe slip on some resident slippers. We're shifting gears now from the numbers on a spreadsheet to what it's like to actually live here day to day. And this is where the picture starts to get a little complicated. Let's just start with a number, 1,434. That's how many apartments are squeezed into this development. And they're all spread across just 3 massive towers, with each one of those towers shooting 43 stories into the sky. So you put all of those numbers together, and what do you get? You get an incredibly high-density environment. This is not some exclusive, quiet little condo. It's basically a vertical city. And just like any other city, it has its own traffic jams. And that brings us to the #1 complaint you hear from people who actually live there, just waiting for the lift. I mean, during that morning rush hour, you were literally competing with hundreds of your neighbors just to get downstairs. It sounds like a tiny detail, but trust me, it's the kind of thing that really shapes your entire daily experience. Hey, remember that split personality we talked about earlier? Well, here it is in black and white. On the plus side, you have amazing, authentic food and cheap groceries right on your doorstep. But the downside is just as real. We're talking about serious noise pollution from one of Kuala Lumpur's busiest roads, insane traffic gridlock during peak hours, and just a total sensory overload. It's vibrant, for sure, but it is never, ever quiet. Okay, let's switch gears and get back to the money. Are all those compromises for the residents actually worth it from a financial point of view? Let's take a look at where the numbers really land. And boom. For an investor, this one slide tells you everything you need to know. The gross rental yield here is hovering around 5.1%. That's way better than the city average, which is about 4%. So what's the bottom line? It's that tenants are clearly willing to pay a premium for that amazing connectivity, even with all the compromises. And for an owner, that translates directly into better cash flow every single month. But, and this is a big but, here's the other side of that financial coin. This is not a buy it and flip it kind of property. Not at all. Subsale prices today are almost identical to the original launch prices back in 2017. This is a pure cash flow play. You buy this place for the strong, steady rental income, not to make a quick buck on capital gains. So we've looked at the hard numbers for the investor, and we've walked through the daily reality for the resident. It's time to bring it all together and give a final verdict. Who should actually be buying or living in Sentral Suites? You know, when you put Sentral Suites side by side with its neighbors, its unique personality becomes crystal clear. Unlike the other big players like the Central Residences or Swasana Central Loft, which are freehold and lower density, Sentral Suites stands out. It's leasehold, and it's extremely high density. Sure, it's newer and has modern facilities, but it's offering something totally different. It's all about mass market convenience, not luxury or a long-term family home. So here's our final split verdict. For an investor, yeah, it's a buy for yield. Go for the smaller one-bedroom or the dual-key units. Those are the easiest to rent out. For a young professional or maybe a frequent traveler, it's great. That convenience is just too good to pass up, and it probably outweighs the daily hassles. But for a family, someone who needs more space and a bit of peace and quiet, the verdict is mixed at best. The high density and the constant noise from brickfields are really significant drawbacks.
And all of this leaves us with a much bigger question to chew on, doesn't it? Sentral Suites is such a fascinating case study. It's a huge financial success precisely because it pushes density and location to the absolute max, even if it means sacrificing traditional comforts. It really makes you wonder, in this endless race to build our cities taller and denser, is the perfect investment always going to be a compromised home? It's something to think about.